So Patrik Walker of CBS Sports, that's Patrick with a K, and you make sure you know that every single time he tweets. It's in his Twitter handle. CBS Sports, big Dallas Cowboy writer. He came up with the franchise 5, basically the Mount Rushmore of the Dallas Cowboys historic, iconic franchise. And we kind of looked at this, Bret, Keith. I mean, we kind of agree, right?
Well, I was curious, like, what was his requirements? Was it like the most, historic that meant the most of the franchise, or the best?
I think it's basically like when you think of Dallas Cowboys, who are the 5 guys that jump out at you right away? And when I looked at it, I said, and our boy America's Fan here is in front of the franchise 5.
Hey, Keith, move to the left and right. So
They
did Roger Staubach.
Wait,
Tom Landry.
You could point.
Smith, Landry, Larry Allen, and behind me is the first Dallas Cowboy taken in the first round ever, Bob Lilly.
You won't move out of the way? You can't move out of the way?
I can, but it gets like a little, it gets a little pixelated.
Yeah, so Staubach, Smith, Lilly, Larry Allen, and Landry. Bret, you agree with this list?
Knee-jerk reaction, no, I did not. I was looking at it going, no, man, come on. And then I was picking my brain going, well, definitely Tom Landry.
Right.
Definitely Roger Staubach.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bob Lilly was like our first round pick. No, Eddie LeBaron was our first round pick ever.
No. I already told you. He was our first round pick.
Yeah.
Eddie LeBaron was already in the league by the time he got to the Cowboys.
So Bob Lilly was our first pick ever?
I believe so. First round pick
No,
ever.
It's not. It's Eddie LeBaron. Check right now.
Well,
come on, stat boy. I'm going to look right now. Anyways.
All right, well, go ahead. While you do that, while you go finish what you're doing, okay? And then while I'm talking, you can go make a fool of yourself and look it up.
So, all right, Keith, you agree with this list right away? Knee-jerk reaction?
When you said when you think of the Cowboys, they jump right at you, I would not agree with this list.
Right.
But
okay.
Because then when people think Dallas Cowboys in the 80s, you think Tony Dorsett. He's not
right.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I would say this list is perfect because that's not really what it is. It's pretty much the franchise player, one of the greatest players, most dominating players in their time period. And I would say that remember, because when I first sent this to you guys, what did you guys say? You said we're all like, oh, we should do one. But then we were all like,
right. So we're like, what do we talk about?
What are we going to do? This is perfect. Because when you think about it, I mean, what he did, he got pretty much everybody from a decade just about, except maybe the 80s.
I got to intervene. I got it. I know who it was.
Who?
Your mom. No, he was right. I hate you, bro.
All right, he's right again.
But no, that's what's great about this is he actually methodically thought, he got one from the 70s. Tom Landry represents everything. Mm-hmm. He got one from the 90s as well. I mean, it's pretty much, it's not bad.
I guess the only one I was kind of like, maybe is Larry Allen. And I love Larry Allen, greatest guard, Hall of Fame. Like he's the guy, he's one of the guys that plowed the way for Emmitt Smith. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I was more Tony Dorsett. I was more Michael Irvin, guys that maybe I'm biased because Michael Irvin and Dorsett were kind of like my lifetime. But I don't know. I mean, so was Larry Allen. So
I don't think this is like the franchise 5 for jersey sales. I think it's more
true.
It's like the impact of that player.
I gotta agree. Well, obviously Bob Lilly was, like I said, he was our first round pick ever. Yeah. But no, sure. The two that gave me the knee jerk reaction to pull back was Larry Allen. But then when you really think about, he is arguably the best ever at that position. Mm-hmm. And then Emmitt's the all-time leading rusher. It's like if I think Dallas Cowboys, that's the thing though. When I think Dallas Cowboys, I don't think Larry Allen.
Right.
I know Keith thinks Charles Haley.
Yeah.
Charles Haley's your boy.
But no, you don't think it. But I meant what team would you name a team where you think an offensive lineman, the first thing that pops up in your head? What I'm trying to say, like if you say if there's an NFL team where you're going to name an offensive lineman that pops up in your head.
There's like the two that pop in mind.
There's only a couple.
You guys are the greatest players in their friend. Anthony Munoz for Cincinnati.
Yeah, but that's what that would pop up in your mind. Yeah, but then again, you're right. But you look at the Cowboys; we've had so much success. So it's
and think about it. If you think about it, like Larry Allen is probably. I mean, this is again, it could go on for debate, but probably the best lineman we have ever had. I mean, right? So maybe that's if you wanted to throw a lineman in there because you can't discredit the hosses up front. You got to throw Larry Allen.
And, offensive linemen need more respect, and I think that's what this writer was doing too. I mean, he could have put Irv in there.
He is probably the greatest player in his position, and definitely for the Cowboys at that position, and probably all time. I think it's a great – like I said, at first you're like, no, because you're thinking, why not Dorsett? Why not Randy White? Why not, like you said? And then it just – when you think about it, I think it's pretty smart. I think it's a great list, man. It's pretty accurate.
Sense. So that the reason I keep saying this writer, his name is Patrik. I just don't want to make it like I know him. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand. Totally. Yeah. He's actually a really good dude. I mean, he's retweeted plenty of my stuff, and he's a very smart guy. But we here at the Jersey Boyz Podcast, considering the fact that we all agreed, then that would be no content. We would say nothing about it. So we decided to flip it. We are going to go over today, right now, the not franchise 5, the most generic Dallas Cowboys that just didn't pan out. Maybe some of the biggest draft busts or guys that cost us games here and there. Like I'm telling you, there's a list.
What would to me it would have been like the expectations to where, and then they were disappointing. Like for me, I was trying to think in my head, with the exception of one or two guys on this list, because I have like 1 or 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
Where I was like, yo, I can't believe we got this guy, or watch how good he's going to be. And it was embarrassing and it hurt. I mean, that was what I did when I made my list. So
that's exactly what I did too. That's exactly what I did too. Like, oh man, we're Super Bowl bound because we got this guy, and then it just turned out to be
great.
It's
garbage.
So with that being said, there's a franchise 5 and a not franchise 5. So I chose 5. Brett's got a couple honorable mentions. I'm sure Keith has a list too. We probably agree, and maybe we'll kind of conflict as far as having a couple of the same guys because, look, we're all Cowboys fans here, and we actually have watched all the same games. So we know exactly what these guys
Did you guys cheat at all? Did you Google it or anything like that, or did you try and go?
No,
I did.
What do you mean?
No. Because, I mean, I'm sure if you Google worst Cowboys ever, there's like a massive list.
No. I meant like, did you end up thinking off the top of your head and then on your list were they a first-round pick?
No, I didn't do that.
I want to say the only thing I did with the Google machine was make sure I got their pick right or their year right, just to make sure that, like, I didn't screw that up.
Okay. But, so I'm just being curious because I went off the dome in a sense of like who was generic, but I had to check the round that because there was one player I thought was in the 90s and I'm like, wait, no, I didn't know that. So
exactly.
It's like in my head.
We want to
make
make
sure.
sure.
Who wants to go first?
If you want, I'll lead it off because this is one of my guys where when Novacek left, we had this void. We had this void where we were like, man, if we can only have a guy as good as Jay Novacek, and then we did. We drafted one first-round pick, 1997. Mr. David Lafleur. I was so excited for this guy. And, well, the rest is history because he was hot garbage. He never, ever panned out. Maybe you could probably attribute it to the quarterback play. I know Aikman was there for a couple of years with him. But after that, and Aikman was on the decline, his head was rattled and he had to retire. But David Lafleur probably didn't have the respect because the quarterback play sucked. But David Lafleur kicked my list off.
I'm going to say he was on mine too, so I don't have to add to that. So right now he's got 2 votes. Keith, was he on your list?
He's on mine.
Okay, so he's definitely on a Mount Rushmore.
Well, the thing with him too is like, he played 4 or 5 seasons and I don't think he barely got past 700 yards total. For a first round pick, man, replacing Jay Novacek. I mean, I kind of feel bad for the guy because he had to fill the shoes of a legend. Even though Eric Bjornsson, remember Bjornsson was pretty good.
Yeah,
he was like a tight end, so he was kind of a very generic
generic
Jay Novacek. He was. He kind of reminded me of him a little bit, But I meant Lafleur was just a different beat. He was bigger. He was definitely bigger than Novacek. I remember him being a bigger guy.
But we just agree he didn't pan out, and we were kind of. I kind of hyped him up.
He played anywhere else.
No, I think he was out of the league. By the time he was done with the Cowboys, I don't even think the guy was playing in the league anymore, to be completely
And you know what? That was Troy Aikman's pick. He wanted him.
Which is how many concussions Troy had going into that draft? Come on.
That's true. They should have listened to him.
I love Troy. Troy's my guy, but shit.
Can I also preface this list by saying I would want to be any one of these guys that we put on this list. I would have loved to have at least played in one game with them.
You know what I'd like to Google, though? The other tight ends that were there that year.
Like in the draft, like to pick over
The
him?
97 draft.
Let's go. In the draft or who we had?
No, I'm saying like who else could we have gotten besides LaFleur?
97 tight ends. I'm curious, but Bret.
But this is different. Yeah,
Bret.
that's another time. Yeah.
No,
Go ahead, Keith. You go because I know there's one definitely on your list.
No, go ahead. No, let Dave kick each one off, and then we'll see if we agree or not. That's
Okay.
fine.
All right. I don't want to spoil anybody. Brett.
No, I like that. I'll add to it. I'll add to whatever. Like,
but we're not doing it position by position. We're just doing it by players.
Go ahead,
you
Brett.
three guys
Go
in the
ahead.
same position.
Go ahead, Brett.
No, Keith, you go because I want to see. I know he's got this guy on his list. He has to.
Yeah, you've been itching, dude. You called me.
I know.
Why do you want to know so bad? It's like you hear him. He's like, "You, Dave, you're not going to Keith. Go. Just calm down, bro."
I'm just dying to hear if it's your first
He's
one.
pumped.
All right, I have. By the way, there is no order here. They can all go anywhere.
Okay.
So you know.
Right.
So I have Joseph Randall.
Ooh, all right. Is he the one that stole all those goods?
Yes, and the reason being is when we beat Seattle in Seattle that Romo year when I went to that game and got kicked out of the game. I mean, can you steal a team's thunder more than he did by going out and stealing underwear and cologne and whatever you did?
He needed
right after the game. So, and I remember calling the Talking Cowboys and telling them, "Yo, this is messed up. This kid's got a problem." And they're like, "Oh, he's just young. He's just young." I'm like, "Young? Young people? What are you talking about? He's a rich NFL player that just stole cologne. No, there's something wrong there."
Yeah.
And sure enough, I ended up being right. And then he replaces DeMarco Murray the next year.
Mm-hmm.
He starts out okay and slowly decreases and slowly starts, falling off, slowly starts. You can see that, he just wasn't the player that we all thought he was going to be.
Right. All right.
And that's pretty much, why I choose him. And he talked a lot of trash when DeMarco Murray left. Like he left a lot of meat on the bone. Like he was building us up like, "Oh yeah, he's right. We don't need DeMarco Murray." And then he comes in and, does what he did. So
all right.
Actually, Darren McFadden was a better running back than him.
Hey, Run DMC. I love him. I love him a lot. So that's just me. I'm a big fan.
So that's my second one.
Before Brett, just so you know, I just checked it real quick because I was real curious how many tight ends went before LaFleur. Only one, and that was, you might have heard of him. His name's Tony Gonzalez. So he got picked, and then we came up with we need a tight end. Let's go David LaFleur. That seems to be the one to go with. And then after that, the only notable tight end that goes after him is O.J. Santiago, if you remember him.
I do.
But
yeah.
That's it. That's everybody else.
So it's not bad. If we would have took LaFleur before Gonzalez,
oh my
gosh,
that's our Randy Moss. That's our Randy Moss to Greg Ellis pick right there.
Well, then we may never got Witten now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, Brett.
Right?
Shoot.
All right, I'm going to go first. What to me was one of the most generic players, and I thought Keith was going to say him first because we used to laugh all the time. But remember Ebenezer Ekubon?
Yes. He was definitely going to be an honorable mention for me, bro. Holy shit. That's so funny you say that. I definitely had him. I was on the fence with him. Ebenezer.
We picked him on the first round.
But, yeah, man.
I remember being a brother going, "Yeah, Ebenezer Ekubon." Nothing. I don't even think he started until one season, maybe.
Bad.
I wanted to make sure he was a first-round pick.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I got, if I'm following up with that, as far as busts of a first-round pick, the number 18 overall pick in 2006, Bobby Barbara Carpenter.
All right.
And this guy, there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of locks. He had a nice head of hair. This guy was coming in there looking like Clay Matthews before Clay Matthews was Clay Matthews.
Well, he was a generic Clay Matthews. That's who they thought he was going to be. And actually, this is Bill Parcells' fault. I think Bill pushed to draft him because he coached his father. I think there was a little nepotism involved. And that one never panned out. But do we all agree that does Ekubon make does anybody have any objections? Because we're all unanimous on the floor because we have to put this together.
I didn't look. Did you end up looking up his stats at all or no?
I will now.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Here, hold on.
Dave, I was gonna take Bobby Carpenter, but I knew you were because when I mentioned him the other day.
Oh yeah, I called him Barbara
when he intercepted Romo and ran it for a touchdown.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, oh, you mean Barbara Carpenter?
Barbara Carpenter.
Like, oh, he knows all about Bobby Carpenter. So I kept him off the list specifically
because you knew I was going to go.
Because I knew you were going to have him, and I was like, I could think of someone else. So
I had Bobby on my list.
Oh, so there you go.
We got 2 votes for Bobby. You didn't have Joseph on your list.
I didn't have Randall.
Did you have Ebenezer Ekibon?
I did not. He was going to be like a fucking. He was going to be like an honorable.
You know, he played at North. I think he played at
North Carolina.
Greg Ellis did.
He played. He played with Greg Ellis, and he played with Bruce. I don't know if Bruce Carter's on anybody's list, but he was played with Bruce Carter.
Bruce Carter wasn't that bad.
He wasn't terrible. He wound up with the Giants.
He had an injury. He had an injury, and then he came out. And I remember, no, he went to the Bucks after us, I think.
Yeah.
And then to the, but no,
I just love saying his name, and I just remember me and Keith being at the sports park.
I remember. I thought it was like Ebenezer.
Scrooge?
Yeah, it's
yeah, you were going to
Ichabod Crane. I'm like, what the hell is this guy's name? He's gonna be great.
All right. So right now we can go David Lafleur, Bobby Carpenter because he got 2 votes.
Right now, Bobby's got 2 votes. Keith's pick of Randall was great. I'm still partial to Ebenezer Ekibon, but let's see who else we got.
All right.
I'm going to save one for last unless Keith says him because I know this is still the guy that I know that he hated.
Okay.
So if you want to go next, I can go next.
Yeah, I'll tackle this one. Just so you know, the acquisition of the wide receiver position was a big deal for the Cowboys in all those 5 and 11 seasons. I got 2 receivers on my list, but I'll start with one because my dumbass begged and begged and begged my father and my grandma to get 2 different jerseys home and away when this guy got to the team, and that's Joey Galloway. I think he's probably the worst pickup of all time, 2000 to 2003. Not a lot of time invested, but just injured constantly, and it never panned out. He might have had a couple breakaways.
He was with another. To me now, this is why I would dismiss him, even though I agree with that. We picked him up from another team. We didn't really draft him.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Did I lose you?
No, you're here.
Oh yeah.
No,
so
I don't know. I don't think that should have anything to do with it. As that being drafted by us. I mean, if he played a good amount of years with us,
right? If he's got some years invested, and
I still picture him with the Seahawks.
We spent something to get him. You know what I mean?
Dude, no, that was that could have been one of the worst trades in the history.
I'll give you the worst trade of my next pick.
I won't spoil it for you.
You almost did.
No, yeah. I know. But I meant no. I don't think so. I think Galloway may have been worse. I think we gave 2 first rounds for him.
I think that was the other guy.
No, we did. He ended up hurting us in 2 or 3 or something.
We could look that up.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll put him. So right now, the only definite we got is Lafleur. I'll put Galloway under Bobby Carpenter. Where Keith, if you're getting a vote for Galloway, then or no?
No.
Oh, okay. So then we'll put him under.
Mine.
He's in the Ebenezer Ekibon category.
Joseph Randall too.
Joseph Randall is. I don't know. I'm on the fence with him. He's in between Bobby Carpenter and Ebenezer Ekibon.
Okay. All right. So what do you got next, Keith?
All right, I'll go. And I'm sure this might be on someone's list, but Troy Hambrick.
He's not on my list.
I left him off because I knew you were going with him.
There you go. Yeah, and I mean, and in fairness to him, he was replacing Emmett, but all this smack and causing divisiveness in the locker room, saying he should be the starter with Emmett, and then he comes out and can't even rush for 1,000 yards under Bill Parcells his first year. I mean, let's have to Emmitt Smith under Dave Campos in his last year rushed for 973 yards.
That was rough, yeah.
Right? I mean, he had 11,000-yard seasons and didn't make it on one of the worst, a terrible Dallas Cowboy team in his 12th season or 13th season. Sorry. He doesn't make 1,000 yards, Emmitt Smith, while this guy's talking trash behind him the whole time, because it's almost like, it's my turn. It's my turn. It's like, dude, no one's keying on you. You come in.
How many years did he even last? Not many.
4.
Right?
I think he played 3 or 4 seasons with us.
Okay.
So the year he replaced the first year he had like 970 yards after he replaced Emmett. But that was a playoff caliber team that I wish Emmett was on. Mm-hmm. I wish they did not get rid of Emmett and he stayed. He would have rushed for 2 more years of 1,000 yards for sure. But and then even the playoff game against Carolina that year.
No, he was MIA.
He was garbage. He had like 20 yards rushing. Yeah. So I meant, he did not live up to expectations. And where does he go? He ends up going back to Arizona, backing up Emmitt Smith in Emmitt Smith's last year. Emmitt Smith almost has 1,000 yards again.
And he missed like 2 or 3 games that season.
Behind a terrible Arizona offense. And what does Troy Hamburg get? 200 yards again. He's back to his little 200 yards. So, yeah, he's on mine.
All right. Bret?
See,
you keep laughing over it. What the hell are you laughing at?
Huh? I'm just laughing at Ebenezer.
I know you are. I mean, it's very noticeable.
My last – well, there's my biggest bust, and I think the most generic Cowboy of all time. So I'm saving this for my brother because I know how much he hates this guy.
Well, I better hope he's – I don't know if he's on here or not, but yeah.
He's got to
I hope I'm on it.
You hated him with a passion.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go and put somebody on the 80s team, 1985, our first round draft pick. He was really generic. I remember he was on the cover of Dallas Cowboys Weekly. His name was Kevin Brooks. We got him the first round. We could have got the refrigerator Perry. We could have gotten, but we took him, and it was just awful. He never panned out. But
hey, you know what, bro? I remember him playing, and I actually thought, I don't know what happened to him because I thought he played good for us. I really did. I remember watching him, and I remember saying, wow, this guy's – but he fell off somehow. And I don't know if I've never – like I haven't Googled or anything, but yeah, it was he's definitely a
Do you think he got hurt? I just remember we drafted him, and then he was on the sideline, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. But I remember him doing well, man. I remember him – so I wouldn't mind looking that up to see. But I do not give that a vote, though, at all.
I'm still saving my my last 2 for best.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so we'll save that. We'll make sure you save the best one for last, Brett. I know you have somebody that you're just like.
I got two. I got 2 that I think, like I said, one is a bust and the other was generic. There was a little hype.
All right, so I'll just because we already kind of established it, Keith. I'll just drop another one because again. He ruined Christmas. He ruined Thanksgiving. The guy fumbled every time he cut the ball. Roy Williams was probably the worst receiver acquisition we've had in a long time. The hype of this guy was absolutely through the roof when we gave up, 2 first-round picks for this guy. So now that's 2 guys that we gave up 2 first-round picks for. And that Jerry, I guess, has a history of this because we gave up a 1 for Amari Cooper too. But at least he's panning out. Roy Williams probably deserves to be on this list. And I would almost get mad if he doesn't receive 2 other votes.
Wow. So I have to say that the Thanksgiving game he's speaking of, bro, do you remember it?
No.
It was against the Saints, right?
Yes.
It was against the Saints, and it was the year after we lost to Minnesota. It was Wade Phillips' firing year, pretty much, when he got fired. I think Garrett may have been the coach of that game. Kitna was starting the game. Kitna threw a slant or a post, or a little slant to Roy Williams. We were going to win the game. He was gone. And he gets freaking stripped on the 10-5-yard line. It was horrible. Yep. Horrible. And the Saints were good that year.
When I tell you, I was at an uncle's house. So had it not been his property, I almost put my foot through the TV.
Like, but what's the Christmas one? You got me on the Christmas one. I remember.
I think I had them mixed up. I think the Thanksgiving one is the one I'm thinking about.
Okay. Yeah. That was horrible. That was horrible. Yeah. That was garbage. And you know what I love about that, Dave? This is why I know you're a true Cowboy fan. Is because a lot of people don't know that game because we were horrible. We were having a terrible season. And
so you want to get one feel-good win on Thanksgiving, and it was there.
Yeah. And it was like I think we were 1-7 when Wade Phillips got fired. We beat the Giants, we beat the Colts, and then we went in this Thanksgiving game, if I remember correctly, and we were just about to win another one in a row, and then that happened. You're right. It was horrible, but he doesn't get a vote.
My thing is, I don't remember any of these games. I get traumatized, man. I really do.
5 and 11 years in a row, I believe. Or no, this is after that.
This is after that. Yeah, this is after our, like I said, the year we beat Philly in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's 2008. So it was after. It's actually the year after Romo and Cabo in 2007.
No, you're talking about the Saints game?
No. It was the year after that.
Yeah. It was no. Maybe when we made the trade, but it wasn't. I'm pretty sure that wasn't that Saints game was in I want to say 2010.
Yeah. All right. So it's 2 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, he doesn't get a vote. I get it, but he's a piece of shit.
Listen, I got the list. I've been organizing.
It's not that bad, but I think he had some good. I think he had some decent games. I remember one game against Tampa, opening game. He did well with Romo.
Yeah, against Tampa.
Against Tampa.
You, all three of us can do good against Tampa back then.
Keith, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna Brandon Weeden.
Okay.
Weeden boys, bro. Come on.
No, wait, but that's the thing. He wasn't drafted by us, but I don't give a flying shit. Right? This guy could not win one freaking game with an awesome team. So now everyone remembers when Romo got injured against the Eagles, he took over and he could not win after Romo started us off at 2-0. Couldn't win, even with Joseph Randle running for 300 yards.
Too. Dez got hurt.
Dez went down, yeah. But even with Joseph Randle running for 250 yards in the first half against Atlanta, he couldn't throw more than 10 yards. But you know what? Everyone is – the year before he was our backup, okay? So Romo misses one game. This is the catch year, right, when we went 12-4. Romo decides to take a game off. We got a good momentum. We're playing Arizona at home. Let's just take a game off. Brandon Weeden will be able to handle it. This is the year before. He comes in and loses that game. And the defense gave us a touchdown that game, and he still couldn't win. So Romo had to come back against Jacksonville, and whatever. But regardless,
listen, man, Weeden's got my vote.
I'm going with him too. Put him on there.
The guy that I put as our quarterback, I just put it on because I don't even know if you guys can remember all the hype and everything that happened.
But hold on, wait. I want to still talk.
I agree with the Weeden pick. No, I'm not picking yet. I'm just saying. I know. I already put him on.
But here's a quick thing. All right, so Romo won 3 games for us that year after the catch season, so 2015, right? So he won the first one, won the second. Weeden came in for cleanup time after he got hurt against Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But he, like I said, he didn't win all year. Do you know the quarterback that actually won? The one besides Romo? Matt Castle.
Yep.
A lot of people do not know that.
No.
I know Dave would.
Yeah,
but they don't even know. He couldn't. We had to have Kellen Moore actually started that year too for us, which Bret thought he was going to. We'll touch that another time. The arguments we had.
I was so on Kellen Moore, man. I saw him in Gruden's thing where he was. I thought he was going to be great.
All right, so we're all Brandon Weeden's in.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go Weeden on that one.
Weeden's on the list. All right, so we got Lafleur and Brass Weedens. I was gonna put as a quarterback. I hope I got his name right, man. But bro, I'm laughing because this one is like the most generic Cowboy in my opinion. Do you remember Tony Banks?
Yeah, yes. We didn't draft him.
I know, but he was. Everybody's like he's gonna take.
Bro, no, that's not. You know why it's not good? He didn't even play a game for us.
I know. That was the thing is that Quincy Carter, I think, beat him out. He was not even there. He went to the development squad.
No, he went to the Ravens, I think. Now they cut.
No, he played on our development squad for 1 season.
He did not, dude.
Look it up. I'm almost positive.
So
I don't even know if I got his name right. I got his name right.
He was not on our practice squad.
Keith.
Tony Banks was not. Dude, he came from the Rams.
Did we trade him or something in camp? He made it to camp.
Yeah. Yo, he made it to camp, but then they got, I think like after preseason, it was a shocker. They were releasing him and they were rolling with Quincy.
But do you remember when they were – I remember seeing this thing when they're like, well, we got Tony Banks and, he could really step in for
It's
Aikman.
Pretty generic. It is generic, but I meant I don't think that we weren't buying it at that time either.
Oh, I bought it.
Oh, I didn't. I was like, come on, man.
I was trying to say, man. I know, but I didn't think he was going to be better
Hall of
than
Famer.
Aikman,
Yo, yeah. So, nah.
I think he was on the practice squad. I think he was in camp. They hyped him up. He was out of a job within a week. And I think they demoted him. I know he ended up leaving after the end of the season.
No, he was on the Ravens team. I think he was on that Ravens team that won the Super Bowl because Trent Dilfer took over for him. And week
for Tony Banks?
Yeah.
Do you remember him, Sturch?
Oh yeah, 100%. Number 12. Well, before he got because he couldn't take fucking Staubach's number, but
anyways, that was my joke. That was my joke one.
That's the one you thought? I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
I'm saving that one.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, hey, listen, we got one more. We'll have one more each. Recap us, Bret. I mean, who's got?
Okay, so far the one that's definitely on the list is Lafleur.
Okay.
We got Bobby Carpenter, Troy Hambrick, and Brandon Whedon right now as our 4.
So then maybe one of our last ones will be the guy to round out our not franchise 5.
And I think we should all take a shot at a coach after this too. But
sure, because there's a couple total complete duds.
We'll go quick on that. All right, so let's go.
All right,
Keith, who's your last guy? Who do you got?
I'm going offensive line.
Ooh, shit! Damn it! You're gonna say the same one as me. I know it. I can feel it. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
What letter does yours start with?
C.
Chaz Green?
Damn it! Only because he gave up like 54 sacks. But go ahead. That's your pick. You talk.
Yeah, well, 6 picks, man. I mean, 6 picks. Sorry, 6 sacks. One of the worst performances by an offensive lineman, probably, obviously, in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, or maybe in the history of the NFL. I meant, and it's not like no one even heard of this. I don't even remember the defensive end's name. Do you?
Claiborne.
All right, Claiborne. Something Claiborne. But it wasn't like when Derek Thomas did it. You know, I mean, he did it.
Right. And Claiborne was
Claiborne. That was
his
his name.
And Claiborne got paid off of that performance.
He probably made the freaking Hall of Fame off that performance.
We got Dontari Poe now on our team, and he was playing defensive tackle for the Falcons at the time. So
yeah.
I got some words for him.
yeah, that's right.
So
here's my thing with Chaz Green, though, that I do kind of feel bad about is he was a victim of horrible coaching where they gave him no help. Like I think he had 3 or 4 sacks in the first half. He gave up 3 or 4 sacks in the first half. And then I'm like, okay, they're going to make adjustments.
Yeah.
And then they made no adjustments. They just let this guy just feast on him because we didn't have Tyrone Smith.
This guy made Eric Flowers look like a Hall of Famer. And Eric Flowers is the worst tackle I've ever seen in my life. Chaz Green, he's got my vote. You said everything I was going to say. You basically – and it's not the worst, but, like, Zeke wasn't there, so, like, it was a Dak thing. So I'm like, this is it. We're going to find out what Dak's got. It's all him. It's going to be Dak Prescott's
didn't even have
day.
a chance.
Dude, every time he dropped back, he was on his ass before you knew it.
Can I add to this little story just really quick, and then I'll get into mine because you two agree?
Mm-hmm.
I was in Atlanta watching the game when that happened. I wasn't at the stadium because I had to perform that night. I was at the Punchline, but I was at a sports bar, and it was god-awful. God-awful.
Single worst performance I've ever seen.
But speaking of Claiborne, this was good. I thought, Keith, you were going to say Maurice Claiborne.
No, you're going Mo?
Yeah, I think he was the biggest bust in our history.
Okay.
He was supposed to be everything in that, and it was just nothing but disappointment after disappointment.
All right. Now, here's the thing, bro. If he never came back and had a solid season, which he did. He had one solid season, which happened to be Dak's his rookie year. Mm-hmm. He did have one good season, which is why he's still playing. And I think he went to the Jets. He may have been on Kansas City last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, of course. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. But I meant that's the thing. At first, you are right. And I would say in Bret's defense with this, I would say for where we got Mo Claiborne and how we traded up, he is the worst pick in the history as far as – for the worst top 5 pick or top, what was he? What?
I think it was like 11th.
No, I think he was top 10, man.
Really?
I think so. Let me check because we traded up to get him.
Wait, Keith, make your point. Research that if you can, or wait, let me do it because your computer lags.
Yeah, but I think as far as a Dallas Cowboy team, we've always been good with like top 15 picks, man. We have. Like if you look at our history, our top 15s aren't that bad.
Right.
You know, whereas that's what I'm saying. For what we gave up for Mo and what he did, and he barely contributed, he was getting beat. I mean, he was pretty bad. It
was a rough stretch for Mo Claiborne with the Cowboys.
But he stepped it up, man. He got a lot better. And
he's only 30 years old, man.
He's still playing. He just won a Super Bowl.
I know, but that's crazy. It doesn't seem that – seems longer.
But I was going to say his last year with us, I think he stepped it up because he was annoying me because every year he kept going, oh, this is the year I'm going to – and he was not performing. But his last year, I think he showed the world the cornerback he could be. And that's why he signed a big contract and left us, which kind of pissed me off. It's like, dude, we've been with you the whole time. You've been injured. Right. Now that you finally get it and you're finally playing well, you're leaving us.
Greener pastures with the New York Jets. Yeah. Bret, did you fact check? We got it?
Yeah, he was our 6th pick overall.
6. There you go.
God.
That's what I mean.
He was the 6th. He was the first in the round, and he was 6th overall of the 2012 NFL draft. He was the highest. I'm just talking about level of disappointment. I was like, I was excited for getting him like we were like I am CD Lamb. Like it would be that disappointing that it never panned out all those years. And I was like, we got a special teams guy. We got a cover corner.
Yeah.
But that was my, I thought you were going to say him, bro. Cause you were so disappointed.
I was annoyed, but like I said, his last year, he impressed me, which was the catch year. He did.
Whatever. He's not taking over Chaz Green anyway. So it doesn't matter.
So Chaz Green rounds out our not franchise 5.
Can I tell you my honorable mention guy? And this is just another one for a goof.
I got like 54 honorable mentions, but go ahead.
No, this one for like Tony Banks. This was a goof like Tony Banks.
Okay.
Well, remember we had, and I'm almost positive it's Rob Gronkowski's brother, but he was our running back.
Well, he's the guy that gave up Romo on the
right. He's the reason why Romo broke his collarbone.
It was Gronkowski, Chris.
Whoever the fullback was, he was a fullback and he missed a block, and that's when Romo broke his collar. His first time he broke his collarbone.
I'm almost positive that was Gronkowski's brother. It
was a Monday night game. I had
him on my list too.
That was a Monday night game.
Well,
yeah. What's funny is if you ever listen to that audio where Romo, he's sitting there in pain, and the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "Did he catch the ball?"
Did he catch the ball?
Yeah, that's how you know what kind of guy Tony Romo was.
All right, so here's what we got.
Just come out of retirement.
All right, so Keith,
all right, wait, we gotta pick. Sorry, Sturz. Let's pick a coach real quick. It's going to be out of 2 in my opinion. So we can throw a coach on there, and then we can rattle down the 5, or if we do 6 with a coach. I don't know.
Okay.
So who's your coach of worst coach of all time?
Chan Gailey, 110%. He came after Dave Campo. Dave Campo at least was decent with us. He
was before Campo.
Huh?
He was before Campo.
I'm sorry. Campo took over. Yeah. That's right. But he was terrible as well as a head coach, but at least he contributed a little bit to the defense. Chan Gailey was a lame duck the entire time, and I wish they got rid of Garrett as fast as they got rid of Chan Gailey.
All right. I was going to say I had Chan Gailey as well, and I also have Wade Phillips. I hated Wade Phillips. But, Keith, who do you got?
I think, like, what's interesting about Chan Gailey? I think he's the first coach in the NFL that was head coach that was ever fired that led his team to the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Because, you can't really say Jimmy was fired. They kind of they left on their own terms. Like he literally
we all know what happened, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I meant, but yeah, no, he was officially fired because he thought, but anyways, regardless, And Campo, yeah, he wasn't the best head coach, but he was a great defensive coach, and all the players loved him and respected him. So
who do you got? If all right, so would you?
It's
agree?
tough, man. It's at a. I would say maybe Switzer.
What? He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he won a Super Bowl. But I meant, if you just look at the angst and how he divided the Cowboys, I mean, it started. Our downfall started under his watch.
Yeah, I guess you could say. I mean, look, we're all in it. We're all in
agreement. He also was a
rookie.
He was pretty much a rookie NFL coach, and he had to deal with free agency when that.
But I mean, if you hear the stories about him not sending people home, rewarding players by letting them go home, I remember there was one with the practice. I don't know if you guys saw that, where a lot of players went out partying, and Troy Aikman went up and said, "Hey man, we should let them run." He goes, "No, I'm just going to call practice." Let him go home.
It's funny you say that. There's an Aikman clip that surfaced where it's like he's mic'd up on the sidelines.
I saw that,
and he's literally like, "We got a coach up here. Don't give a damn."
Yeah.
Boy,
I think Switzer. Right, I know it's disguised. It's disguised by the Super Bowl of Jimmy's team.
I think if you put Switzer on this list, it puts our list kind of like people would be like, "What? Why he won a Super Bowl?" You know what I mean? Like that would kind of.
But I mean, to strengthen Keith's argument, because I was going to say it's out of Wade Phillips or Chan Gailey myself.
I was going Chan Gailey 100%.
I hated. I thought Wade Phillips was awful. I couldn't stand him.
But if you look at what Switzer did at his last season and what Chan Gailey did with that same team.
Yeah, I would make it. I would put Switzer on there because that's not really his Super Bowl.
No, it's not. I mean, and I don't think Wade Phillips is a bad one either, bro. That was Bill Parcells' team, for sure.
Right.
So
Bill
I kind of agree. So to me, it's out of Wade and Switzer. So that's my thing. But I would go with Switzer.
I'm hard pressed to do Switzer, but if you guys are in agreement, I mean, I'm just gonna have.
Well, Sturch, it's all about your interview when you were 8 years old. That's why you went there.
Let's throw Wade Phillips on there. Let's just throw Wade Phillips then. Will we agree on Wade Phillips?
I'm all right with Wade Phillips. He was a lame duck as well.
Okay. Wade Phillips, Keith?
Wade Phillips is our coach?
Yeah.
All right.
He
taps out.
It's tough, man.
No, it's all right.
Wade Phillips is such a great defensive-minded coach, but yes, he was a bad. I mean, you know what, dude? You know who it just might be, and I defended him to the end.
Please say Garrett.
Jason Garrett.
All right, let's agree on Garrett.
Yeah, you know what?
Let's agree on Garrett.
Let's talk about this for a second because
I defended the shit out of that guy, and I was wrong, and I apologize to anyone that's ever heard me defend him. I never really thought it was him, man. And then
Keith, apology accepted.
Yeah.
I tried to get behind Garrett multiple times, but every time I see his face now, I just the
last 2 seasons I've been off the Garrett. The last 2 seasons.
He should have been fired.
The clapping and all that crap. I mean,
right after 2014 when they, the big no catch, whatever, that's not his fault, obviously. But it's just every single time
he got coach of the year that year, didn't he?
I know.
or was it the year with Dak? I think it was the year with Dak he did.
Oh, he won in 2016?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, real hard to win coach of the year when you're freaking 13-3.
All right, guys. I got the list. We only have one that we don't all agree on. Okay, so far we've got David Lafleur, Chaz Green, Brandon Weeden, and Jason Garrett's our coach. Yeah, so to fill the 5th spot.
Oh, so we're throwing the coach
Bobby
in there.
Bobby Carpenter, Troy Hambrick. It's out of those two, or Ebenezer Ecubon.
I'm going Barbie Carpenter.
All right, so here's our 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Jersey Boyz.
See, but sorry, man. I'll stop. I can't put Garrett in there, man. I can't. Do we have to do a coach?
Well,
can't we just do players?
Well, Patrik of CBS Sports did. He put Landry there because you think iconic coach. We got to go the opposite way. So I'd say put a coach.
Man, he was a backup. I mean, he spent so many years with us. I feel bad putting him on this list. So just go with freaking Shane Gailey, guys. No. Then I say we put Switzer.
We
can't put Garrett on there. I'm sorry.
I say we put
Garrett
Switzer
in the Army 5 of the Cowboys, huh?
Then I say we put Switzer.
The Switzer one's killing me. I don't know. I can't.
See, that's the thing. I think you could do Shane Gailey.
Shane Gailey officially sucked. Like, it's not like he was good. So therefore, he has to win this thing.
All right, man. All right, and
it'll look better because I'm definitely going to do a graphic. By the way, I'm definitely going to do our not franchise 5 and put all their heads on just fucking. I don't even know.
Okay, guys. So now officially, here's the Jersey Boyz non-franchise 5, the most generic players in Dallas Cowboy history. Starting it off unanimously, number 1 on everybody's list was David Lafleur. I would have to say the next, it was a close first. Brandon Weeden, unanimously. Then we had to go with Chaz Green, who probably had one of the worst offensive lineman performances in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. He's in the Hall of Fame, I think, because that was a record-setting game by somebody nobody ever heard of. Then we had the generic Bobby Carpenter, who was the
I like that thing.
He was our first-round pick. I think it was a nepotistic pick, if that's even a word, because Parcells coached his father. He was a generic Clay Matthews. And then as our coach, we switched it around.
A lot.
We went from Barry Switzer to Jason Garrett, and because of the
disparity.
The sympathy of Garrett, who meant a lot to the organization through our years, all the way around, and Switzer, who won a Super Bowl for Sturchio, who was.
So did you say? I'm sorry. Did you bring Brandon Weeden up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he said Weeden.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. On my bad.
He was our second. Him and Lafleur were neck and neck. So our head coach of the franchise Non-franchise 5 generic Cowboys of all time is Chan Gailey.
All right.
And here's the thing. Okay. Chan Gailey is actually, and I said this before, but I'm almost positive. I think he made the playoffs 2 years. His only 2 years he was there, which just shows you how awesome our franchise is.
I still say we do Barry Switzer, man. That's okay.
We can't though. Search won't budge on the Switz.
It's just hard.
We won't touch. Technically, it is probably Campo with the records.
Wait until you see my interview, man. I said he was going to be pretty good, and he was damn well pretty good. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So remember Gailey? We went 10-6 with him, and we lost. I think it was to Arizona at home, which was one of the worst. Jake Plummer and them, and we had everyone. And we lost.
You know how much I remember that game? I remember that game so clearly that I remember the field with spots of water. You know how Texas Stadium used to be like soaked in stuff?
Dude, it was supposed to be a sure win for us because we beat them twice during the season. It was like, oh yeah, this will be a, and then Plummer ended up beating us, and then
Snake Plummer. Unreal.
And then the next year was against the Vikings, but we made it, and I know this because I remember at 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. We went.
So we didn't want to break Little Sturch's heart.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? Barry Switzer, you are officially the Jersey Boyz Podcast non-franchise 5 all-time shittiest coach. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now let's cut to the new graphic. So everything's we got the switch. Little Sturch disappeared now. Grown man Sturch. So now our list is number 1, David Lafleur. Number 2, Brandon Weeden. Number 3, Bobby Carpenter. Number 4, Chaz Green. And then our coach has now been fired. Chan Gailey got fired.
Again.
And Barry Switzer is now the head coach of the Jersey Boyz non-franchise 5. Is that good or no? Keith, you happy with that?
Done.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
He's loving it.
Yeah.
Are you or no?
Yeah.
Listen, it's either
and the non-franchise.
It's no.
The non-franchise 5 practice squad starts and ends with Ebenezer Ekibon.
Ebenezer Ekibon gets honorable mention.
Amazing.
Are we agree? Who's our coach? Do you want me to put the coach?
No,
let's all agree on the coach.
No, Switzer was a dick. We'll put him on there. That's fine.
Yeah, so I mean, he took that team and ran it to the ground. So
right.
All right, so I'm going to do this clean. I'm going to do this clean so we have it.
Go.
Okay, guys. So the Jersey Boyz, non-franchise 5, the most generic Cowboys in Dallas Cowboy history. Starting off, number 1 unanimously was David Lafleur, the tight end. He was generic. Coming in at a close second was Brandon Weeden, unanimously the worst quarterback we ever had, most disappointing. I don't even think he won a game. And then, of course, Bobby Carpenter. He was the generic Clay Matthews, first-round pick. Bill Parcells picked him, coached his father, just never panned out. And then we have the infamous Chaz Green. I believe the tackle or the defensive end for Atlanta had 72 sacks on him in his debut game. And then our head coach is – who is it?
Barry Switzer.
Is it Barry Switzer is our head coach? Honorable mention, Ebenezer Ekibon.
There it is. That is the Jersey Boyz Podcast non-franchise 5.